You drive this thing?
I do drive this thing.
And you kind of run this, or collectively run this dwarf car situation in Texas, the Lone Star Dwarf Car Club, that is?
Yes, sir. It's been around for, God, probably 30 years. Used to be formerly known as Texas Dwarf Car Association, TDAC. And there was a few other ones down south also, but this one is one of the oldest ones in Texas. And dwarf cars obviously have evolved over the years, and it is growing exponentially. And I mean, when I say exponentially, if you look out here tonight, we've got over 30 cars out here just on a one-night regular race. And we do our nationals here every year. This year we expect over 100 cars out here, and we're anticipating it. And if you look down the line, that's a lot of high-dollar cars right here. You can get an average car like this one for about $3,500 to $6,500, and they go on up from there. I mean, there's really no limit to it, but that's racing.
So you're out of the Austin area?
Yes, sir, Leander. I actually am kind of part-time right now this season, but I'm just kind of taking a break. I'm getting ready for nationals at the end of the year here to kind of set the standard, I hope. I've been racing dwarf cars for about 5 years now, and I've done pretty well. You know, it's I ran down in the Southern Series for about 4 years. Coming up here's a whole different ball game. These guys are top notch. You know,
and there's one here before though.
I won here the last time I was out.
Okay.
And it's a crapshoot. You know, top 5. You got to be willing to put yourself out there in this kind of crew. It's intense in this club, so it really kind of stretches you out and makes you a better driver.
They tell me that you have like 15 cameras strapped on this thing sometimes?
Yeah, we've had up to that. This year we've lost a few by rocks and just blown in them out and get tore up. So I think I'm down to 6 now. I like to have them in all angles on there because when you get run over, the guy that runs you over don't like to get posted on the internet, so the next time he gives you a little more room.
So talk about driving these cars versus other cars you've been in, sprint cars, all that stuff.
Man, this is the hardest car to drive. It's an old 3-link modified type suspension, but man, it is so small and so twerky that it's harder than a sprint car. We're top 5 car in this car this year. It's a lot of fun because you're always passing, but it is very hard to get a handle on it. But once you start creeping up on it, it starts getting a little easier, and then you get to see what happens like at Greenville last time we raced. We went to Kennedale and we came from the back up to about 5th or 6th, just kind of running the points races, trying to collect enough points. Joe is leading the pro class and I'm leading the old man class. I'd like to try to get both, but I'd be happy with one.
You're the tech guy.
I'm the tech.
Talk about the difference, because we see a few of them look kind of a little bit. Right. I mean, they're just a little different.
I'll tell you about this one. This one's mine. It's a 71. It's a Peter D. Bully truck that I built brand new in 2016, ground up. You know, I did the fab work. I did it all. This is a 2010 bully truck. These are Peter D. Trucks.
So why do they have to be bullies?
That's just the name of it.
Oh, okay.
It's just a bully truck.
Okay.
They're all tube chassis, 1.25 DOM and 1x2 main frame. We run full containment seats, fire suppression systems, 5-point harnesses, the whole 9 yards. It's a full-blown race car. People think they're cute and they're toys. They're not. These are a newer style chassis. If you want to come over here, I'll show you some classics, okay?
I don't know. What do you mean by classics?
Okay, the classic dwarfs were the original design with 2 doors. They don't have roof hatches. They're a 1x2 square tube or a rectangle tube all the way throughout the chassis, all right? Some of the newer ones, we do allow round tubing in the rear, anything behind the seat pan, okay? All that is, we consider that the rear horns, and we allow round tubing, anything in front of the horns, because all it's doing is carrying the radiator and stuff. Okay. So, but this is a classic. This is one that was an original, straight up dwarf car from back in the late 90s, early 2000s.
So this is like 20 years old.
Yeah, it's a 20-year-old car that we update. We put a whole new front end on it. We update them with a few things, put a bump out in them. The original dwarfs were straight right here, which made it very tight on the drivers. We allow a 38-inch wide body. The main rails are 34, so we bumped this out 4 inches to give you a little shoulder room and improve the safety of the car. The newer cars.
What's that? Why is that the 33 with the truck and everything in the back? What's up with that? What's different?
That you want to talk about an old car? That's an old car. That is an original Arizona dwarf car.
It kind of looks like a lowrider with that door on the side.
Yeah. So the original Arizona dwarfs, the doors were removable. which isn't the greatest thing in the world, because you see what he's having to do, and now he's fixing to have to put his door on to get going. So the later dwarf cars were hinged. All of these are hinged, or the majority of them are hinged now. But yeah, that is a true original Arizona dwarf right there.
So that's probably how old?
That one is probably from the early 80s. Nearly 40-year-old cars, and they've redone some stuff. You know, they've improved them slightly. The problem with the older dwarf cars, and the reason behind you're seeing some of the newer stuff, the older ones that are still in good shape are getting hard to find, because you can see that car doesn't have any Zeus clips on it. These are all Zeused, okay? The original ones were the body was either welded to them or riveted. And the ones that were riveted, when you wash them, you end up with water in the tubing, and they end up rusting out. So they're getting harder and harder to come by. So that's why we're elevating our rules to allow for these newer style dwarf cars. There's only a few manufacturers. There's B&B, DNR, M&M. The guys really out on the West Coast are hot right now. The Hot Rod Chassis, Todd Dameron. But these guys, we're allowing the newer styles because the older ones don't have the safety factors built in that the newer ones do. We want to be as safe as possible. So when we get one like at Peter D at our shop, the fab work that we do, we'll take an older chassis, put a lot of new tubing in it, and make sure it's safe for the driver. But those are kind of the middle line budget folks, you know, that they're trying to do what they can for what they can afford. We allow pretty much all of them. We allow Western states. We're going to have a big national in October. We're expecting 80 to 100 cars. Lots of guys from Western states, California, Washington, Oregon, Colorado, Arizona. They're all going to be here. It's going to be a huge race. It pays $1,500 to win in pro, $1,000 to win in the veterans and sportsman class. So it's going to be a big deal, and it's going to be right here at Waco.
What are you doing running dwarf cars?
Going to have some fun.
You're running a dwarf car tonight?
Absolutely.
Looked like hot laps went well for the half lap you got.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was good. Car was real good for the first time being in it, for sure.
So what's some of the differences between this and the sprint car? Obviously you're a little lower to the ground.
Yeah, it's actually more like driving a micro, really. A lot of speed, just hammer it off in the corner.
Twitchy kind of?
Yeah, it's a little twitchy, but you just mainly drive it off in the corner. Just hold on to it.
Does it roll?
Not really. It's kind of, because it's so low to the ground, you don't feel it roll like a sprint car, but it gets on the right rear some, but not like you would think.
You're a modified driver. What the hell are you doing here?
Well, Chaz, we just sold a modified probably, say, a month ago. There was a good buddy of mine. He said, hey, what would you take for that car? It wasn't even for sale. I gave him a price. 3 days later, I had the cash. And I love the modified class, great class. But, you know, this is really where my home is. I love racing dwarf cars. We ran one last year, won 8 features out of like 12 or 13 nights. So we have some experience in the cars. The 67 car here, 2016. It's a 2016 hot rod chassis built by Todd Dameron out of Las Vegas, Nevada. We just had the car delivered Sunday.
So it's kind of a mafia car.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Anything from Vegas.
Anything from Vegas.
It's got
It's supposed
dirty
to stay
hands.
in Vegas, though.
Hey, it's supposed to. Hey, you're breaking the laws of gravity here.
I know
You
it.
took
He's
something
even,
out of.
Look, he's even got the die. He's rolling the dice.
Oh wow! Wow!
But
wow!
so basically, yeah, we got the car delivered last Sunday, and this is the first night that we've actually stepped foot in it. I didn't even drive it around the yard at home, so we're trying to learn everything about it.
How'd it go in hot
It went great. If my crew chief Jared here would have put the Zeus tabs in after putting antifreeze in the radiator, the whole hood lifted up. I could barely see.
Oh, that was you?
That was me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but we were still.
Well, everybody knows
we
you
were
now.
still hauling the mail, but yeah.
You know, when you go back out there for heat races, people are going to be like, "That's the guy with the hood
Exactly.
up." You know.
Exactly. But yeah. Other than that, I mean, the car is going to be really fast tonight. I start third heat race, front row pole on the inside, but I got Mr. Kyle Jones behind me, so it's going to be hard keeping him behind.
Why is everybody scared of Kyle Jones?
Well, Kyle's he's probably the greatest driver around DFW. I have a lot of respect for him. I've actually ran mod lights with him. And I beat him sometimes. He's beat me, and he's just a really good driver. With racing the midgets, sprint car, open wheels. These cars, these are momentum cars. So the faster you can bring them in the corners, the better you are, and that's why Kyle exceeds at this pretty good.
What are you doing here tonight? Are you here to kick some ass and take some names now?
I am.
You ain't forced to be at the back now, are you?
I ain't forced to. I drove 76, so.
But in the main, you don't have to.
No. So I got a tough heat I got to come through, but I'm pretty fast at this track. I won the last time we were out here, won my heat and the feature, so I think I can come through it. We're trying a little bit different stuff tonight.
Brother Blake's not here, but this Dallas guy is.
Yeah.
So this is the one we didn't see.
No.
Is this the secret weapon over here? We're pulling it out
Yeah,
tonight.
yeah.
So what about you? You're driving what car? I'm sure yours has a P in the number, but what?
No P.
Oh wow.
He's a rebel.
Just a 32.
Oh, he's the black sheep.
Yeah.
You know, the beard and everything.
Yeah, we got a good car tonight. We won here this year before, so I made slight changes to the car for this week, just trying some stuff out for the nationals. After hot laps, it seemed to be the right way to go. So we'll see. I got to start in the back of the heat race because I was the last winner at KSP, and tonight I'll be starting in the back of the feature too.
IRP Race Cars is one of the leading chassis innovators in the southern United States region. Specializing in modified and sport modified chassis manufacturing, IRP Race Cars is based out of Longview, Texas. Throughout the course of its existence in the surrounding areas, IRP Race Cars has racked up multiple track championships and marquee victories. For more information on IRP Race Cars, visit their Facebook page at facebook.com/IRP Race Cars or give them a call at 903-452-9168. For the next car to handle like a dream, it's gotta be an IRP.
Green flag, and we are underway here with your first heat in the Lone Star Dwarf Car Club action here this evening. One spinning of the infield, but he keeps it going, and we stay green. Ryan Stoy, your early leader. Battle for second between Miller and Garland. Garland has the advantage. We are 3 wide, though, right behind Garland. Look at Dallas Patterson starting in the back, going 4 wide, making the move up in the fourth. Laps continue to wind down. Patterson now the outside of Miller. He gets loose and goes through the infield. Patterson, meanwhile, up to third. David Garland now tracking down Ryan Stoy. Stoy and Garland with a battle up front. Garland looks high. Stoy able to take the line away. Garland and Stoy still side by side. Stoy with the advantage. Stoy started on the front row pole, and he's been leading every single lap. Garland all over him with 2 to go. White flag flying, 1 more lap to go. Garland, 1 more last shot here at Stoy. He enters high. He dives in low, side by side on turn number 2. Almost contact between the 2 drivers as they work into 3 and 4. Stoy able to have the advantage. Stoy with the lead. Stoy with the checkered flag waving. Your winner, the 20 of Ryan Stoy.
So talk about it. You got the win, but it was not easy.
It wasn't easy. I heard a lot of engines behind me. Good thing we don't have rear view mirrors in these things, because it would have made my hair stand up just seeing who was behind me. But Garland seemed to be battling me pretty hard. It was I'm fortunate enough to cross the finish line first. I had to search for it, and I kind of had to try to find my line there. There's a lot of cars running out on this track. Kind of dried up a lot quicker than I thought it would. I was out there thinking we were going to be a little bit heavier than we were, and it was a little bit tighter than I wanted it to be, but I think ultimately when Garland jumped down on me, I was able to floorboard it a little bit harder to keep it going for that win. And I'm ecstatic to win for my son here, and my wife's out here. Gives us a good starting position for tonight, and everything's panning out for what I'm trying to do here and get this thing tuned up to kind of show him what's up at Nationals.
Man, he had a good line. I just couldn't get far enough up beside him. Tried a couple times, and then it was either the wall or him or hit the brakes. I hit the brakes, trying to collect points. Like I told you earlier, we're just running for points this year, and car's good. I was really happy with the car. We could have forced the issue and probably took the win, but
man, it's club racing and we're having a blast.
Started in the back, worked my way up to third, kind of caught him, and messed up a little bit down there in turn 4. It's just, I misread the track a little bit. It was just too loose for me. Slowed myself down a little bit, and then I started catching them. Caught them there at the end, checkered flag. So I think the track's probably going to rubber up tonight with all the cars and the sprint cars, and we're running after sprint cars and sport mods. So we'll see what happens. I'll have to start in the back regardless anyway, so we'll just put a setup on it, see how it goes, just be patient and work my way up there.
Green flag is out here in heat race number 2. Your defending national champion in this race, that 46 of Dawson Fisher. 3 wide down the back straightaway in the 3 and 4. 0-0, your current points leader of Joe Sedan leads the field. Mark Asher in that 74 testing the outside line as we work into 1 in 2, 3 cars under a blanket up front here. Fisher back underneath Asher, now challenging Sedan down the back straightaway. Sedan with the advantage, still 3 cars right there separating each other by just mere car lengths. The 80 of Brandon Sprain looks on in the background. 3 wide now as Fisher goes to the middle of the speedway as we get a yellow for the 28 of Chris Hearn. Green flag, and we are back underway here in heat racing action. Fisher still trying to work the middle side of the speedway underneath Asher. There is yet the 49 of Dylan Spring coming through the field. The 27P of Jeff Patterson working his way from the back of the field as well. 4 cars now under a blanket between Asher, Sedan, Fisher, and Dylan Spring in the 49. Asher trying to work the outside line around the 0-0 of Sedan. Fisher now checks to the outside groove down the front straightaway, up to second, up to the lead into 1 in 2. What a move there. 2 for 1 by the 46 of Dawson Fisher. Sedan battles back on the bottom side into 3 and 4. Fisher, though, smoothing the groove on the outside of the speedway, and he officially leads his first lap. Oh, look out as Asher goes around and collects the 80 of Brandon Spreen. In the process, yellow is out on the speedway. Green flag back underway here, just a few more laps to go. Dylan Spreen in that 49 on the outside. 27P though, Jeff Patterson makes the move up into third. Spreen battles back on the outside groove though. Dawson Fisher continues to lead. Dylan Spreen in that 49, making this extreme outside line work. He's able to get around Patterson now to the outside of Sedan. 3 cars. Oh, Jeff Patterson makes a great move to go from 4th to 2nd down the back straightaway. White flag. 1 more lap to go for the 46 of Dawson Fisher. Battle for third. Not a battle anymore. The 49 of Dylan Spring makes that move to get up into the 3rd position. And off the turn number 4, your leader, your winner, the number 46 of Dawson Fisher.
I was tight on the first couple laps, turning right front brake off, and the car started coming around. Mark and the 0-0 car of Joe Sedan were caught up on the bottom, and I figured, hey, I'll go on the high side, and led the rest of the 4 laps and got my first heat race win and the DNR. The left front did start coming up a little bit. That means you're getting a lot of bite on the right rear, and that is a good thing. It means you're getting traction and you're getting drive coming off. The car was pretty free, and we just, we hunted around from the top to the bottom throughout the heat race trying to figure out the best line. Finally, with about 3 to go, we just stuck to the bottom and were able to work ourselves up to third. Overall, it's pretty good. We're going to go back and try to tighten the car up for the feature since the track's probably going to slicken up a whole lot more.
Green flag, and we are underway here in the final heat race with the Lone Star Drift Car Club. Prejean, Revis, Kyle Jones in the 5. Your early leader, that 67 of Danny Rogers. Revis looking to the inside of Rogers. Kyle Jones, meanwhile, to the inside of Prejean. Prejean on the outside line. Jones moves up into 3rd. Battle for the lead down the back straightaway as Reese pokes the nose underneath the 67 of Rogers. Prejean back around Kyle Jones. Keep an eye on Segura as well as the 23 of Stevens on the background, looking at this battle right in front of him. Segura around. Stevens at the 23. Prejean working the outside line to get back up around Jones, though, holds the bottom side of 3 and 4 to hold on to third. Prejean, though, keeps the momentum up and battles back to the outside into 1 and 2. Stevens now looking at the inside of Prejean as Kyle Jones solidifies third spot, looking to get second around the 626 of Rivas. Jason Rivas in that 626 machine right there in front of Kyle Jones. Your leader still continues to be Danny Rogers. Rivas loops it around. Look out, Mayfield almost nowhere to go. He goes to the outside and the yellow's going to fly. Green flag, we are back underway here in heat racing action. Kyle Jones looking for the lead underneath Rogers. Rogers with that outside line momentum, able to hold on to the spot. Meanwhile, Aaron Stevens on the background of this battle. Look at the outside of Prejean. Prejean goes around on the turn number 4. Stevens now the outside of Kyle Jones. Jones rolls the bottom. Prejean keeps it going. We stay green side by side battle right on the back straightaway between the 23 of Stevens and the 5 of Kyle Jones. Stevens with that outside line. Momentum able to get up in the second line. Stevens on the move in the 23 car. Now the inside of Rogers for the lead. Rogers able to hold on to the lead down the back straightaway as we work into 3 and 4. White flag coming out this time by. One more lap to go from 23 of Stevens. To the inside of Rogers. Kyle Jones on the background. Side by side as we work into 3 and 4. On the bottom side of Stevens, Rogers up top. We got a drag race to the checkered flag, and at the stripe, it's going to go to the 67 of Danny Rogers.
I already knew when I went out there to run the top side of the track, I wanted to try to keep the momentum up. I knew Kyle with number 5, he'd be up there in a heartbeat. I saw him second or third lap, kept working the bottom, and I knew not to give up, to stay in my groove and try to make consistent laps where it counted, and I knew we could win that race. On the loose side, so we are going to tighten it up for the A-main, put some more drive in it, try to get it where the ass end don't kick out so much.
You don't think it's going to rubber up then and tighten up?
I just don't think it is, man. Honestly, I'm going with my gut on this one. I think it's just going to stay slick. But hey, you never know, man. It's what the name of the game is, guessing about racing. So we'll see what happens. Never been on a setup like this, totally different car that I'm used to. So hey, I'll take the win. Hey, trying to get the right seat time before our national race.
We almost had him there at the finish. He beat me barely at the finish line. We came from 8th, dead last, 2nd. Brand new car for us this week. We tried a whole bunch of new stuff. Put some DRI shocks on it. I got to thank Ryan Diate for that.
So the big nationals coming here, is that a big deal for the drivers in the state here in the dwarf cars?
Yeah, I mean, that's why we're here tonight, is to get some practice laps in and seat time and make adjustments and learn what works and what doesn't work before the big show.
He was good. Just a little forward bias. That's what we need. Forward bias.
Seemed like the cars in front of you were good.
They were all right. They were good. They looked like they were getting a hold of something up in the middle, but I didn't want to run right behind them, so I was running right real low. And we were good before that caution came out. I thought we were going to take the lead, but it was like sand down there. So when you hit it spun the tires, but there was a spot. If you hit it just right, it'd get you a good launch. But every now and then I would have hit it right.
IRP Race Cars is one of the leading chassis innovators in the southern United States region. Specializing in modified and sport modified chassis manufacturing, IRP Race Cars is based out of Longview, Texas. Throughout the course of its existence in the surrounding areas, IRP Race Cars has racked up multiple track championships and marquee victories. For more information on IRP Race Cars, visit their Facebook page at facebook.com/IRP Race Cars or give them a call at 903-452-9168. For the next car to handle like a dream, it's gotta be an IRP.
Dawson Fisher going to shoot out to your early lead. Ryan Story, though, challenging to the inside. It's going to be a side-by-side battle in the lap number 1, and Dawson Fisher's going to be the one to do it. Jeff Patterson, Aaron Stevens, 3 wide there with Danny Rogers in the 67 machine. 84 of Garland going to make the move to get up into third. It's into 3 and 4. Story still looking at the inside of Fisher. Fisher going to be able to hold on to the point just as a yellow does wave. Yellow flag is waving on the speedway. Cautions out. Sedan and Prejean involved. Green flag will be back underway here in the Dwarf Car Club main event. David Garland looking to the outside of Story, not able to get the position. Rogers under fire now from Stevens. Jones looking underneath Garland. 3-car battle for third as Jeff Patterson on the outside looking in. 6 cars in the frame. Underneath Fisher goes Story. Story with the lead down the back straightaway. Fisher battling back on the outside of the track. Rubbered up groove here, but it's wide enough for your leaders to do battle. Fisher with the point as we get a 3-car battle for second. 3-car, 4-car, 4 wide there. Wow, what a great racing event here with your Lone Star Dwarf Car Club. No shortage of action. Story now looking at the inside of Fisher once again with Garland, Rogers, Kyle Jones making a move to the outside of Stevens in the background. Rogers now the inside of Garland. Story still all over the back bumper. Now to the inside of Fisher in the 3 and 4. Side by side for the lead, side by side for third as Rogers looks underneath Garland. Story still looking underneath Fisher for the lead. Rogers pushes up the raceway, battle for fourth as here comes Kyle Jones, Jeff Patterson, Aaron Stevens, as well as the Zero Segura looking on in the background. 3 cars up front breaking away as Jones makes the move. Story, Garland, and Fisher run in your top 3 positions as fourth is Kyle Jones with a fray behind him of Patterson, Rogers, and Stevens. Patterson makes the move around the 67 of Rogers. Here comes the 23 of Stevens with a move. Wow, what a move there by Stevens to go 3 wide to make the move. As lap timing plays a part as they go around the 28 of Chris Hearn. Rogers makes a mistake. Rogers to the infield, and he's out in this main event. Halfway home, 10 down, 2 to go. Dawson Fisher continues to lead. Ryan Story in second. Battle for third developing now between 4 cars. Side by side, Jones and Garland in the 3 and 4. With Jeff Patterson and the 23 of Aaron Stevens on the background of this battle. Jones able to get the third spot away from Garland. Patterson with a little bit of a wheel hop there. And now Stevens going to look to the inside of the 3 and 4. That's for fifth. 3 wide on the turn number 4. Patterson trying to find a line to get around him, but he's able to open up that inside line for the 23 of Stevens. 3 cars under a blanket. Yellow on the speedway. Caution flags going to wave. 13 laps down in your main event. Just 7 to go. Green flag back underway. Jones looks to the inside of Story, not able to get the advantage there. Is now Patterson able to close in on jump. Stevens pulls up the speedway. Patterson sizing up Kyle Jones once again, not able to make the move on the number 5 machine, but getting ever so close. Meanwhile, looking deep in the field, you see Segura, Mayfield, Rivas, as here comes your dead last starter, the 32 of Dallas Patterson in the top 10. Patterson making some moves throughout this field, picking up another driver within the inside of Mayfield. Patterson not able to make the move just yet. White flag coming out this time by. 1 more lap to go, and the battle for third is hot and heavy between Jones and Patterson. Jones able to pull away from Jeff Patterson in that 27P. Meanwhile, Dallas Patterson all over the back bumper. As Mayfield, he makes the move finally and makes up that position on the speedway. Patterson trying to get 7th away from Segura. Looking to the inside, not able to do it. Patterson comes home in 8th from the rear.
Dawson Fisher taking the win in the 46 machine, the Dwarf car.
I mean, it was a good night. Got out front early. Then, I seen Ryan down there on the bottom, so I moved down about midway. I saw Ryan a bunch, like on the first 5 laps. I was going like mid-track, and he'd just drive up under me, and so I moved my line down a little bit so that wouldn't happen no more, and I think I was dominant from there on out. This was a test for the Nationals, make sure we had the right gear and the right setup on the car, and it looked like it worked.
And the car, worked.
The car won, so we're good to go.
Rubber didn't seem to be one lined as much as it was for other cars. You could move around a little bit.
You can move around a little bit. It was pretty much foot to the floor. Set the car, foot to the floor, and it just forward momentum it took it. And I'll tell you what, that was probably one of the funnest races I've ever raced in. Just based off of the handling of the car. I wasn't fighting it a lot. There was a couple grooves that were kind of spiking me left and right down the front and back stretch, but ultimately I was trying to make up some ground, deep down inside. We have a professional driver coming in, midget champion, sprint car champion, mini sprint champion, that I was able to keep off my hindside. And then last year's national champion, I was able to give him a run for his money. So, there ain't nothing better than that. 10 fingers, 10 toes. I'm driving my car on the trailer, and I got a big old smile on my face at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I get to drive home with that.
The groove for the sprint car was just as big for a sprint car. These being a little bit smaller, I feel like we could do a 2-wide deal. But if you missed it just barely, you were washed out just on top of the track.
That made it hard.
Yeah.
That made it more capable of passing someone who missed it.
Absolutely, and that's how we picked off a few cars. I think we started 7th or 5th, finished 3rd, but just at the end there, we just needed to be able to pull out of the corner better, but we were close. I was happy with first night in it, so it'll be good.
Seemed racy too. It was a lot of 3-wide, 4-wide back and forth.
Yeah, it was good and racy. I hate to race on a track like that all the time, but they're doing the best they can. I got a lot of cars tonight, but hopefully next time we get out here, it'll be a really good track to get up on the rim.
No, we had a good car, man. They're at the middle of the race. I kind of changed my line going down into 1 and 2, and I just started driving it in real deep, and it just stuck and started making up ground on the guys in front of me. Then the caution would come out, and on a track like that, that's rubber down. It's so hard to pass getting underneath someone with these little cars. They're so quick right off the bottom. Kind of just got stuck back there at the end of the race with more cautions coming out. So, we finished 8th. I'm happy with it, starting way back and on a rubber down track, passing a lot of cars. I can't complain. The car was working, so I believe some of my buddies, they were telling me in the middle of the race, me and the leader were the fastest cars out there, so I'm happy.
One thing we know, hey, I don't want things for show. You want something to see? Well, watch us put on the show. We roll it how we roll low. We don't settle for slow. You want to get on our level? Well, just go get you a rope. You want to strap in the seat? Then come on out and let's see.